There.
Did you understand?
There we are. We're live now. Hello, welcome to our hangout today. My name is Tabea Domin. I work as a project coordinator at Schülerhelfen Lieben in Berlin. I just came back from a trip to Belgrade on Tuesday, where me and also our organization Schülerhelfen Leben gained an overview of the situation of refugees in Serbia. And we also met a lot of NGOs we talked to. After dramatic scenes at the beginning of 2015, end of 2015, sorry, and the beginning of 2016, Schülerhelfen Leben supported 58 initiatives, which again supported refugees on the so-called Balkan route through an additionally installed emergency relief fund. In the last year, less and less attention was paid to the region. And the situation changed 4 weeks ago when the temperatures in Southeast Europe reached minus 15 degrees. This also means that the media coverage increased, but there is still little awareness about the situation in Southeast Europe. Therefore, Schülerhelfen Leben decided spontaneously to have this hangout, to exchange information, and to letting more people know what is going on the so-called Balkan route. I'm very happy to have Sönne Jensen here, who is at the moment in Sarajevo. Maybe you can introduce yourself later on. Also to have Mike, who had to leave his country, Afghanistan, and is now stuck in Serbia. He will be on the telephone. And also our colleague Jelena Hrnjak from our partner organization Atina in Belgrade. Thank you very much for being part of this hangout.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we will try to talk to Mike at the beginning. Can you tell us a bit about the current situation in Serbia and especially in Belgrade?
Yeah, why not? Like the current situation over here is like really bad. You cannot even imagine. There is too many people. They're just sleeping in a warehouse. They call it a warehouse. It's a place which is not even stable for like animals, but people sleeping there. So the weather over here is really cold. They make fire inside, and it's very smoky, very bad for health, and too many people. They do not have enough clothes. They pretty much have nothing, and they do not have like water for like clean water to drink. They do not have a place to sleep. They do not have like the very basic thing like some place for shower, toilet, and stuff like that. They have nothing. There are even like children, and there is right now almost maybe 200 or 300 people. They're all sleeping like in one or like in one big house which has no windows, no door, and nothing. So it's really cold there, and they do not have like about like 3 or 4 months ago they used to get some food, and now they're only getting like just lunch in 24 hours. So the situation here is like really bad, and it's getting worse day by day.
Okay, thank you very much, Mike, for sharing your experience and your impressions. Do you, Sönne or Jelena, would you like to add something? Because Sönne, you were there until last week or the day before, the week before last week, and Jelena, you are also active with Atina and supporting refugees in Belgrade. Would you like to add something or?
Yeah, I'm really sad to hear this, and for sure I can say that the situation in warehouse it's not there are no conditions to live over there, and our government is trying to refer those people to camps. We are running, I think at this moment, around 12 or 13 camps all around the country. But the numbers of people that Serbia has to support are really huge. Inside of the camps, there is around 7,000 people, and there are people who are not situated and accommodated inside of the camps because of the various reasons. They are scared that they will be deported, or they are scared for other reasons to be inside of the system. What happened is that the winter was really cold, and the conditions started to be inappropriate, and I'm really sad and unhappy because of the things that Mike explained how they live. It's really embarrassing to for one capital to have such a situation, and I think that we should do as much as we can in order to support those people who are in need with better conditions. What our organization is trying is to help. This, what Mike says, it's not the only one. There are cases of reported of sexual violence and violence which is done against those people, and this is something what Atina is trying now to advocate for, and to see how we can help and to support our government in providing better conditions for these people. So far we reported dozens of cases also inside of the camps where violence is going on, and the system has to be empowered enough in order to be able to help the children, women, boys and men to have the opportunity to react on the violence and to help these people to get all the necessary support. As we are following inside of the centers, conditions are better, of course, than outside, but still there are great needs also inside of the centers because of the huge number of people that Serbia is trying to help at the moment.
I would like to add, especially according to the fact that the Serbian government starts to provide camps and accommodation for people now in camps. It's very important to know that we also have to be aware of violence in the camps against refugees in form of deportations, for example, that are reported by UNHCR several times. And it's very good that the Serbian government now starts to provide safe places, but we also have to know that a lot of people living in these warehouses behind the bus station are afraid of the camps, are afraid of being left alone in the camps, are afraid of being deported or being in a closed camp. So we have to be aware of this in the future, definitely as well.
I agree completely, and I think it's necessary to have one unique strategy in approaching, and also to have the open doors so the refugees and migrants who are in Serbia feel safe enough to stay here, and for sure those people do not feel safe, and this is what is problematic. Also, regarding the fulfillment of their basic needs, Serbia as a country is obliged to provide the minimum for them, and this is what NGOs should continue to do, to remind the government of obligations within signs, protocols, treaties and agreements that Serbia is obliged to provide the support to these people. It doesn't matter are they outside of the camps or inside of the camps, the system should not look at them differently, and they should be helped. When I say that, there is also a problem of registering those people, because most of them, they don't want to seek asylum in Serbia, and if they are not registered, they cannot exercise their rights. So this means that they cannot have except, for example, if they are in some kind of medical emergency, they can go to a hospital and to get primary support, medical support, but after that they are on their own. So the registration of people also who are in Serbia is one of the greatest concern, and it should be changed, not to wait to adoption or revision of the law on asylum, though, to register all of them and provide for all of them necessary support that they need.
Definitely, yes.
Mike has just mentioned that some time ago there were 3 meals distributed at the so-called at the warehouses or the barracks. What is the reason for the fact that it has only been now there's only been lunch distributed? And who is active? Which organizations are active at this at the barracks? Could you maybe Jelena or Sönne, yeah.
Oh, excuse me, yes. Yeah, according to the fact that the Serbian government or the Ministry of Labor and Social published an open letter in October of the last year that they asked every NGO to stop charity in the city of Belgrade. According to this fact, there's only 1 meal left, distributed by the British NGO Hot Food Udemeni, the NGO I was with the last 4 months in Belgrade. We used to distribute 2 meals per day at the Mixalište, a children and family center in Belgrade, and at the Info Park hut, a hut in Bristol Park in Belgrade, and other organizations distribute as well. But after this open letter, we were forced to change our place because we were not allowed and not able anymore for different reasons to distribute the food at the park. So we moved from there to the warehouses behind the bus station. But according to the fact that we are the only organization, and we were for a long time the only organization distributing any food, we didn't have the capacity for the resources to distribute more than just 1 meal. So that was the main reason why it's only 1 meal per day.
Thank you. Mike, do you also want to share again your impression of support people receive at the barracks?
Sorry, can you?
I was just asking, would you also like to share your impression of the support at the barracks? Is there? How do you experience the support over there? Is there any, or yeah? I mean, since there was a decrease of activities of NGOs because of this letter Sönne just mentioned, is this in accordance with your impression as well? Like that the situation got worse and worse?
Yeah, the situation that for now, like there is a few organizations beside the organization that Zona was working for it, and they were all helping as much as they could, but now they're like I don't know, maybe to the police or for some reason they cannot do like they used to before. They're still trying to, but I think they're not allowed to do. And the only organization that's giving the food, and the food is like what people need now. Like most of the people, they need food. So that's the only organization that's giving the lunch, and so, but that's not enough. That's not enough. 24 hours, just one lunch, and there's some people that like if there are some people they may have just little money to buy some food for them, like for breakfast and for dinner. But there's some people they have nothing, and they're just getting by with just one lunch on 24 hours. So we're hoping like they will just let them to start it again, and we're just thanks that this organization too much problem. They're coming and helping. So we're just hoping like it will get better, not getting worse, but it didn't happen yet.
What are the reactions of the community in Belgrade, of the people living there? Do they see this? How do they react in that situation? Having people living like this in Belgrade. Do you want to share any of your experience, Sönne or Jelena or Mike?
That's probably something Jelena can answer the best.
Yes. For sure, what Mike was explaining is that this is a part of government strategy to demotivate refugees and migrants to stay over there and to try to refer them to other camps. As you know, and as you are aware, they already established a camp nearby Belgrade, but as we know, the capacities of that camp are fulfilled so far. We are like following what the citizens of Belgrade and how they are watching at this problem, and I have to say that the international media played a really important role, because they were the one who started to publish the stories from the warehouse, and they started to bring attention on this matter. People are in Serbia. We, as you said, Tabea, at the beginning, we were overwhelmed and flooded with what happened in 2000, from the middle of 2015. So people started to they started to make all things to be relative, you know. So they just say like they don't understand. They're full of prejudice, in the sense that they don't understand why people are over there. They don't understand why there are people who are not Syrians, because they don't understand that there are people from Afghanistan dying over there every several hours, that there are girls and women who didn't have the same opportunities, they didn't have the chance to go to school. They don't understand actually the reasons why they are here and why they don't have any other choice except to be here. So if you ask the regular citizens in Belgrade, they would say, because we know how it is like to be a refugee, they would say that they would like to help, but they are not organized activities in regards to that. So these people, besides food, they need other things. For example, children are not going to school. So for a child in these years, it's really important to have some kind of education. It's really important to have a contact with the local community, to have some kind of integration program in the country. And this is what is for sure missing for them. It's not just a question of them being right now in this warehouse. It's a question of not having a clear strategy what will happen, and not having the answers on the questions that people are asking. So a lot of hate speech is going on in Serbian media regarding the fact that in Serbia there is around 8,000 migrants and refugees at the moment, and this is what we think will be one of the greatest problems in future, how the citizens will react. Also, what is really stressful for our organization is the presence of smugglers all around the place and on all the places where refugees and migrants are, which means that their security is jeopardized. Mike said at one point that people had some money, but as we know from Atina's point of view, all the money that they have is gone. They don't have the money. So this means that they are in potential risk to be exploited. And this means that they will not have anything else to sell except their bodies or part of their bodies. This is not good either for our citizens, either for the refugees and migrants who are put in this kind of situation.
Thank you, Jelena. I would direct also this question to Sönne. We just talked about what is needed at the moment and what can be done. We probably all of us ask ourselves, what can I do as an individual? What can I do as an organization in this situation? So we were talking about, Mike mentioned we need food. Jelena, you just mentioned we need some integration programs. We need education. So Sönne, can you also tell us what, I mean, you were very active, what you did and what you think we can do, and also maybe you can discuss a bit about what needs to be changed.
Yeah, Jelena just mentioned especially because of a lot of reports in media all over the world about this current situation in Serbia. We have right now a lot of groups coming. In the last few weeks, a lot of individual persons, a lot of people from private groups just came together to do something, or even NGOs came to Belgrade. We have a huge amount of various informal groups that are doing a lot of things in the warehouses at the moment. People that start building ovens in there, or have different projects to bring people together to provide them with food by cooking for themselves. And when I see that, we also have to, when I look back at the last months, we have to be critical, and we have to see that most of the things that NGOs did was charity for things day by day. But most of the things we did were things that haven't been very sustainable and really making the situation of the people better. I just think about this, a few projects we had, like Info Park had the project of language lessons. That is amazing. That's sustainable. But beside that, the kind of charity by just giving clothes or giving food to people didn't really make the situation better. So if we think about how can we make the situation better right now, as an individual, I would say join one of these groups that are there. A lot of people are there. It is easy to find them. There are people from all over Europe. Try to join them and try to engage with NGOs to, in for example, education projects, in language lessons, in making the situation in the warehouses better, at least until everyone can go to a camp. Things like that. That is what an individual can do. And also, of course, always, if you're in an organization, then feel free to just be in contact with NGOs that are there in the field. Try to raise money, try to use the network you have to get money for projects we can implement here. It would be amazing.
Mike, do you want to add anything to this from your perspective?
Yeah, I would like to add something is that, like I mentioned, we need food. It doesn't mean we don't need anything like education or language program or something. But the food is something really important. If you do not have food, if you cannot live, like you should have food to stay alive. If you're not alive, what are you gonna do with education or things? So the food and the place for staying and like a place for shower and like a shower and toilet and those things that are some things that we really need. And after that, we should have that. Then we can have like we can ask for more things. But this is the thing that you cannot live without it, and that's what we really need in this situation, because we do not have it. So the food is, like I said, we really need it. It's the first thing to stay alive. If you just like want to 24 hours to have, like you will not be able to like to learn a language or to go to or something else. So it's the first need. And like others, like the first time I mentioned that there may be some people they may have just enough to stay alive, but there is too many people they do not even have like to buy something and eat to stay alive. So that's like the biggest challenge for right now.
I would like to add one other thing. I fully agree in you, Izzat, but especially as a person who's not in Serbia, but in a country like Germany, for example, it is very important to see what happens in Serbia at the moment. It's definitely not Serbia specific. It is a thing that is it has to be seen in the context. So Serbia got 20 million euros by the European Union for providing people with accommodation, with camps in Serbia. And we have to ask, what is the intention for that? We have to see it in the context when the majority of the people that are at the moment stuck in Serbia are young men from Afghanistan. And at the same time, in countries like Germany, we're discussing about deportations of people from Afghanistan back to their home country. There's something we have to see in a context, and we have to be maybe not specifically aware of Serbia, but aware of the problem of, for example, people from Afghanistan or from Pakistan, to act in the way we are able to do it in our country or in our community, wherever we can do it.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think. Sorry, Mike. Do you want to add anything?
The other thing is like there are some people that are coming, like they would say like so what's gonna happen and what you gonna do? And there's some people that ask like, what are you gonna do? You know, the situation here not good and not like, and like, so they sometimes ask like, what are you gonna do? So what we're gonna do, like, people going to try to leave Serbia, because here is not like, they have nothing here, so they try to leave. And like last week, I lost one of my friends. He drowned in water and he died, and more people are trying to cross and they're dying. So I hope like these people, they see why do people are like that needed to lose their life for leaving Serbia. So the situation, if the situation was better, nobody would just go and take the risk to die. And he's not the only one. There are more people that died, but that one was just happened last week, and he was like really one of my best friends, and he died. So we don't know what to do. If you're leaving, we're gonna die, and if you stay here, we have nothing. So we're just like in the middle of forever. We don't know what to do, and these things like here, you stay like staring, you have nothing, and just like when it's cold, when it's raining, you do not have a place to stay. And the warehouse, like you guys have seen, it's like the water coming in, too many people, you cannot sleep, and you're getting sick, and then there is no medical program or something to have some. And if sometime like if you go to a doctor and like he will say just take rest, and there is no place to take rest. How are you gonna rest if you do not have a place to sleep? And if you sleep under those dirty blankets full of lice and full of bugs, you cannot even sleep. So the situation here is really, really bad.
And I think one precondition for helping is that we all keep our eyes and our ears open, and that we raise awareness, that we talk to people out about the situation, especially since the media coverage is decreasing again. The weather is probably a bit improving a bit, but it only changes the situation when it comes to the weather. It is a bit warmer, but we should all be aware about the situation, even if we don't hear anything on media. So we should try to find sources on the internet where we can get information and talk to people, so we all are aware of the situation, which is, Mike, as you just said, horrible. So I would just like to ask you if you want to have a final statement or something, because it was very good to get this overview from you. Thank you very much for changing your for sharing your experiences, and for having so many perspectives in this hangout. But anything you would like to add?
I would like to add something, especially if you talk about how can you get informed about what happens in Belgrade, how can you know what happens even if the media attention decreases. There's a small project started in Belgrade. It is called Voice of Europe. I will send the link later to you. Maybe Schüler Leben can publish it on the Facebook page. It is a blog, a medium for refugees to express whatever they want to express. It's supposed to be a kind of opposite to the perspective of journalists in Belgrade. So there are pictures published by refugees they made in their daily life in an authentic way, or stories about their life in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, or in Belgrade. And if you want to know what is happening there, if you want to have authentic information and stories, I can just recommend this source, definitely.
Thank you, Sönne. Mike or Jelena, anything else before we close this hangout?
I would like to, first of all, to tell to Mike and others to hold on and to try to survive somehow. That we will for sure, as a civil society organization, do our best in order to support them, and that we understand them, that we understand that they cannot go to classes if they are hungry, and if they don't have the basic conditions, that they cannot survive. So we will continue to work and try to negotiate with government in order for policies and the way of thinking to be changed. This is a promise. We cannot promise that we will accept to do our best, that we will succeed in that, and this is why we need also help from all around and from abroad to make a joint initiatives and statements which will provide to these people something that they will have in their in their hands. I have to say also from the experience of our organization is that on one hand, bearing in mind that the good weather is coming is a good thing. Another thing that will happen is for sure that a lot more of people will come, a lot more of refugees and migrants will come to Serbia. We know that, and we should start preparing for that fact as well. So the situation is, if you look at it from any side, it's not so optimistic, and having in mind that nobody has the right answers at the moment makes it more difficult. But what we can is to stay as much as we can positive, and to think positive, and to try to every day give our best in order to do some efforts. And thank you, Mike, for sharing this. For me, even if I am doing this job for years, it's always affect me when I hear this. And if is there anything that Atina can do for you, your friends and people, just let us know. You have our contact, so hold on.
Mike, do you want to say
I
anything?
would just like to thanks all of you, and thanks all the organization who has like really big challenges and they're not allowed to do it. They're still helping us. I would like to thanks all of them, and I will just we're just looking for something, like we're hoping something like it will get better, not getting worse, and we're hoping like the situation will change. And I would just like to thanks all of you, and looking for something, like having good hope, and I hope everything will get better, because this life is like, like this is the life that we have never experienced before. So I don't know how to say it with words, but just hoping. The only thing that we can do is just hope.
Thank you, Mike, for sharing
You're
this, and Sönne and Jelena. We at SHL, we also try to contribute to this situation, not only through the emergency relief fund we had, but also our partner organizations we have in Southeast Europe. And this year's Social Day project, which will be selected in May, will also focus on the situation of refugees and migrants. So yeah. Thank you very much for this, and yeah, we should keep our eyes and ears open for everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Good luck.